This is one of the best slow burn thriller slash horror I've seen in a long time, and it comes just at the right time in Frightfest London 2023. I've seen the screener for this, and I have to say, I was thoroughly impressed with this. Let's jump in. Claire was just a child when her best friend was abducted and murdered. 25 years later, Bill, the dead boy's father, has a plan to learn the truth about what really happened. With the help of a psychic, Eleanor, they venture deep into a haunted moor where something dark and evil stirs at their presence. It's amazing to me how filmmakers can take a thing that isn't seemingly alive, well, not alive like us, like the moor, and give it a presence, give it a... I often write, when I'm writing my novels, I will write body parts to be alive, that you can kind of interact with someone. So like the mind will fight against the foot or something. It's just, it makes it more entertaining to read. And so when you take something like an inanimate object, a big moor that's miles and miles long, and you give it a presence, almost a being immediately. So much so when you use certain moments in your filming technique where a character is afraid to step over onto the threshold of the grass, which would be the beginning of the moor. It just adds so much presence and tenseness that, like, oh, why is she so scared just to take that step? There's nothing there. It's just a moor. And then through showing, not telling, we get to understand how dangerous the moor is before we get into any supernatural stuff. And we are on a journey here with our characters, with the past of guilt that has happened, losing a best friend, losing a son. And now we want to find him. Even though we know that the son is probably dead, they just want to bring the body back and have some semblance of, you know, coming to terms with what has happened. Now we know that there's a serial killer that has been killing a whole bunch of people, so we expect to find bodies. But how do you in a moor when it's like all marshy, it's almost impossible to find anything? Police have tried. Here we have this father who is obsessed with finding it, so much so that he seeks the supernatural. And that's where our story gets really good. We have phenomenal actors in this. Sophia Laporta, who plays Claire, plays a very broken character who's trying to come to terms with the loss, the guilt that she carries, which is why she ends up on the moor as well and going through a traumatic experience herself. We have David Edward Robinson, who plays Bill, who plays this father who is just traumatized and wants something. I guess I would wonder what this character would be if he didn't have the search for his life. Like, he would be nothing without the search. He's become so obsessed that this is his full life. Elizabeth Dormer-Phillips, who plays Eleanor. My goodness, there's moments in this where I just was clapping, but also very surprised at what we were getting. There's a terrifying moment in this that I wasn't expecting. And it's not jump scares, it's just shown on screen. And that's what I like about this movie. Even though it's slow burn, you feel the tenseness of it the whole time. Even though it's building up to something traumatic, you know it's going to be horrible. It just builds and builds. There's an ominous presence. And the moor is that thing that's always ever present as we see that. It's in the minds of people. It seemingly takes you over as you step over. The mist comes pouring in. It has a presence of its own, which is very interesting of how the characters deal with it and how the camera captures all that. So when you get your big scary moments, they're so much more scary because of the building of this film. Highly entertaining film. I encourage you, if you're going to Frightfest in London, watch it. Although I think this will be on digital very soon. Look out for it. Put it on your list of airy thrillers that have a very interesting ending and some very unexpected moments. I'm going to give this a solid 4 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
And you got one. Congratulations.
I really enjoyed this one. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.